Good evening. It's October 3rd, 2021. Bitcoin Sunday action was pretty choppy here. We had push up earlier, but as I always say, you can't trust Sunday action. So we have a couple of different options here. The one that I favor, if you remember, I was not really satisfied with this being the pullback. I wanted to see it come down a little bit deeper before pushing up into this higher zone. Therefore, the scenario that I favor is that we actually made an A wave there. We did a high B, which crypto did a lot. Bitcoin did quite a bit back here. We had a couple instances of making high Bs. In fact, here's one right here. I was looking for it. Oops. Right here we had a high B and then a drop into C, which went into the ideal zone that I was looking for the entire time before completing that fifth wave up, which probably ended up over here actually, but it's possible. Possible also that we had a high A, B, and C right there as well. So in any case, I think that is my preference for what we're doing right now. And that is simply based on the fact that this right here, number one, is a very shallow 4, and then this here is a very, very shallow 5. So I'm not really satisfied with that being the end of this particular move upwards. So I am favoring a move down into this region still that we failed to hit before moving up. So I think what I expect is something along these lines, coming down here to the 46 to 47K region, and then proceeding upwards to the upper end of this red box here, which is kind of like 49.9 to nearing 51, 50.9, something like that. And that would be my ideal situation, I think, to complete this path off here, and then we would have a move down. So let me rephrase that actually. That is the normal expectation that I have. The ideal situation, honestly, would be if this actually extended. So if we can get this and then we actually get another move up and we actually extend somewhere to about 53 would be ideal before we get a pullback in 4. So if we can kind of move everything upwards a little bit, that plays out better with my daily chart as far as the fibs go, because that would target then this blue 618 would actually be the top here for this final fifth wave that I'm looking for. And that is really the ideal situation, in my opinion, for a first wave off of the lows to get to this 618 here. So that's what I'm looking for. I'd like to see that extension. However, we don't necessarily need to get it. And this red box here is definitely the normal, what we'd expect for the normal move here. So that being said, I'm going to leave that on as my primary scenario, and we'll see how that proceeds. But it actually doesn't really matter at the moment, because the alternative scenario basically just means that 3 is already topped. Instead of getting one more move up to top it, it means 3 is already topped. And we did hit the 1382 extension of this 1 and 2. We hit the 1382, which is the minimum requirement really for a 3. So we have hit that. And now we can come down in a 4, and likely if we only got the 1382, we're likely coming down to the 764 area here at about 45.2. But anywhere in this green box would be fine for this move up again then into this fifth up here. And the key really again is to stay above 44.3. Below that is a strong warning that something is not right with the bullish case. There is still the possibility that we move in a diagonal fashion upwards even if we break that, but it's going to become less likely below that region. My stop at the moment is still 42.7, which is my break even, so I have plenty of room to let this run, and I do intend to just keep it running unless I do stop out at break even. So like I said, it doesn't really matter which one of these cases is correct for the moment, because honestly this green zone is kind of the same no matter which one is playing out. It'll matter more for for kind of the longer term situation. It'll matter more if this is an extended third or if we're actually finishing off a 5-wave move here. That matters for the longer term, but that should clarify itself as we proceed as well. So don't despair. Sunday moves are often BS, and we often see them reverse and try to shake people out. I guarantee you we've got a whole bunch of short-term traders who are putting their stops below these lows right here, and so it would be the perfect situation for the market to come down and shake them all out before pushing back upwards. So that's what I'm seeing here on Bitcoin. The indicators, I think, are starting to lean in that favor as well. PPO is getting down into the green zone here. If it pushes into here, I'm expecting that would turn lime green and say that is likely a bottom. RSI, if we continue to push down into that zone there, RSI will probably get into a favorable bottoming position there as well on the hourly, and we can proceed upwards from there. So I'm not, there's no warning bells for me right now going off. This still looks good to proceed upwards. And I would view moving into this region and then moving upwards from there as quite healthy for the market. Being that we've struck the 1382, we have in fact made it a little bit less likely now that we go completely bearish and get a new low. It hasn't completely eradicated the possibility yet. Like I've been saying, we still really need to see this fully form into 5 waves to be much more sure that we are entering that next leg of this bull market. But extending upwards here to that 1382 is a very, very good first sign. So the last thing I want to look at is, let's just go over to the CME chart here, because I want to see if we have a gap of any sort. Okay, we did open with a gap, but it looks like it already closed. It pushed up a little bit and closed that gap, so that's irrelevant at the moment. As are the remaining gaps, I think, are relevant for the moment. We've got a gap all the way down at 96. Got some gaps in here in this region, gap here. For now, assuming we continue making 5 waves up, we should fill this gap fairly soon. As we proceed upwards here, we'll fill that one, and then I doubt we'll fill these gaps here until the next cyclical bear market, which may in fact happen after we hit that 100,000 area, potentially up to 130, something like that. So those gaps will fill, almost virtually guaranteed they will fill at some point, but I think we're going up first before having to worry about these. This one, I suppose, is the most worrying one, because at the moment we still do have that slight possibility that we're doing an ABC down. We may in fact do that if this dies, and that'll fill a couple gaps here on CME. So it is possible. I don't want to say that it's impossible quite yet, because it is in fact still a possibility. But like I said, I'm not looking at this as anything but a positive really at the moment. If it continues down into this area, that's going to be a positive for me. Alternately, maybe it doesn't even come down here. Maybe it just stays above and keeps pressing upwards. This could certainly be an ABC in a flat formation without coming down here. That's fine, and it can keep pressing upwards into this 5th and just keep trucking. That would be fine as well. So we'll see how that continues to play, but we're looking like we're in good shape still. All right, everybody, good night, and I'll see you in the morning.